my good friend Alex, who has a Loki crown on currently, specifically President Loki's crown on.
Right.
Alex, how you doing, my friend?
Well, apart from being kicked from a guild for no reason, I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm President Loki.
Yes.
I feel like I'm Luis, who's like, all this bad stuff happened to him. He's like, but I still got the man, though.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm okay. How you doing, Drew?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm, I've had a good day. I wouldn't say I'm semi-excited to talk about the Bad Batch. I feel like it's kind of been, a little lackluster the past 3 weeks, but I'll talk about it. It's Star Wars. Alex, what about you with the Bad Batch? How you feeling after this week?
Sorry, I'm like really dark right now. I definitely think that this episode specifically made the last one better. But yeah, Bad Batch. We were kind of talking about it before we went live. An hour late. Your fault. It's been an interesting thing. I definitely think it's the most lackluster show currently out of all the Star Wars shows. And I understand it's the first season. You can't really make true judgment of it. We still are missing 4 episodes or so, like 4 or 5. But still, I've felt so underwhelmed watching this. I felt so like that's it. Like so unimpressed entirely with the show. Oh, some good gem episodes like episode 1. God, I don't remember the name of the title. But the ones with Cad Bane, those are all good. Yeah, just
the introduction to Crosshair Squad is great. Episode 3, it is. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah.
But other than that, every other episode's kind of felt like a little, not really all too interesting. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat. I think just overall so far with the show, we're 3/4 of the way done with the season. I am disappointed with the lack of character development for some of the members of the Bad Batch. Like, what is Tech's? What have we developed with Tech? What have we developed with Echo?
He's what I've developed with Tech is he's a much more strict person than Hunter is.
Right.
Like, won't even let Omega like fly the ship. What a bad parent.
Echo does absolutely nothing in this episode except be like, what does he say when he climbs up the wall? A little help.
Yeah.
Like, and then Wrecker hasn't done anything since his ship came out. It's like, I feel like Wrecker has to be the one that dies at the end of the season because he has the Drax effect. Like, he has one purpose.
Yep.
Be funny.
Which is unfortunate because like Wrecker, he was funny in Clone Wars season 7. He was a good character, but ultimately, funny doesn't make you good.
Right, but it gets old. It gets old after a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's just like, in your face. Like Drax, I feel that way sometimes. Like, okay, I've seen this over and over. You can only make so many stand and still jokes for me to laugh. So,
It's just like the thing is with this. It now I feel like it's gonna start picking up because I feel like what we had at the end of this episode should have happened like 10 episodes ago. And that's Crosshair's, do I have permission to go hunt down the Bad Batch? The fact that we haven't gotten that yet is like staggering of just how weird it is. So that's definitely something I'm happy now that we're moving towards is Crosshair now hunting down the Batch. So I don't know. I'm happy. I'm hoping that it's going to start picking up. So, yeah. I hope. It's a hope.
I agree. I guess we could go into we went with our overall thoughts on the show so far, but my overall thoughts on this episode was like, fine. I mean, like, I can't say it's bad because there's nothing that drastically I hate, but, or dislike, but, it was fine for what it was. I'm going to give it like a 7.5 out of 10. I thought Hera was pretty interesting. It was cool to see her fly.
Right.
I don't understand how she didn't understand, the trigger. Why would you move to the side to go up? But I mean, that's funny animation thing.
She's a kid. Give it a break.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. But I thought Omega was good in this episode.
I did too. It's kind of weird that she's still referring to Hunter and all them as her brother, not family. But whatever,
Right.
whatever, girl, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I definitely feel like the strongest person in this episode, however, was a Hauser.
He's a king.
Yeah, he's definitely been the strongest character in the show. And I said the show. This little arc.
Right.
But yeah, definitely enjoyed his little. I thought we were gonna see a clone rebellion form, and then they all got arrested.
Yeah, so it brings up a lot of questions about the inhibitor chip. So I guess we could go into that. I thought it was well executed. You could tell from the first episode that he was in that something's up here.
Yeah.
He's acting different than the other clones. But what I thought was interesting was that some of the other clones defected and some of them didn't. And I'm like, yo, this is interesting. This sets up a lot of things. And it makes me ask a lot of questions. Like, did the inhibitor chip work on everybody? Or I think the more likely thing is that it wears out at some point. I think that would make sense. But Hauser, I thought, was great. I liked his relationship with Chom and Hera's mom, who I will never figure out her name.
Eleni. Eleni.
Yeah.
It is. It's Eleni or Eleni. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Hauser was really interesting. Just that whole storyline.
And I honestly want to say this. It's a sad thing that is the most interesting thing to come from this arc.
Right.
A little mini arc is that potentially some of the inhibitor chips didn't work.
Right.
So
there's no payoff. There's just a setup in this arc.
Yeah.
It's like, what happens to Hauser? Like, what happens to the rest of them?
I was really happy like Crosshair just like didn't shoot him. I was so relieved. I was like, oh my god, thank God.
I feel like it would have been almost better unless they do something with Hauser.
He has to show up in the finale. He has to.
I would think so. I really think we're building towards a clone uprising.
Well, we know we have to. Episode Warpoint is coming up soon.
Yeah, War Mantle, episode 14.
War Mantle,
yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Wrong. Thinking of the wrong series. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So, I definitely think a Camino uprising is going to happen. I think that would be awesome. But then again, I don't want a show to be like at the beginning, episode 1 and episode 3 are bangers. And then, I have a couple good episodes in the middle, and then the last 2 episodes are bangers. Yeah, sure, it's going to end on a good note. I don't doubt that. But, like, for 10 weeks, they just sat there like, eh.
Yeah.
Like, I would
this show, it's coming off the heels of Clone Wars. So it has some pretty big shoes to fill. But come on, you still have Dave Filoni at this helm. Yes, I know he wasn't the big man writing and whatnot like he was before, but still, are you trying to tell me Dave was just like covering his eyes, going through the script and like, yep, that's good. Okay, yeah, you're good. I don't think he did that, and it's really disappointing that the show is not as good as the others. In terms of first season, I would definitely say it's probably the strongest, but going off of completely right now, it's still not strong. So I definitely say Rebels is giving it a run for its money. So right now, it's really going to say, like, if these last few episodes don't hit, especially War Mantle, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Real sketch. Real sketch.
Star Wars Theory brought up an interesting question. He's like, would you rather have 16 20-minute episodes or 8 40-minute episodes? I think I'd rather have a longer episode.
Yes, because the thing is that my biggest problem with this show, I have it with Rebels and I have it with Clone Wars. They encounter a problem and then solve it way too fast. It doesn't feel like a genuine thing. It's like, I know I compare it to the show a lot, but Arrow, when Oliver Queen faces adversity, it takes him almost the entire episode or even multiple episodes to figure out how to solve his problem. With the Bad Batch, Clone Wars, and Rebels, I feel like they solve them way too fast. The only real instance or show that definitely drags it out longer is Rebels. Season 1, when Kanan gets captured, it takes about 3 episodes to get him back. So I would definitely say, but even then, some of the bigger things like throughout that show, you definitely feel they solve it a little too easy and a little too fast. So something that I would have liked to see more with this show is either these longer episodes or episodes where they don't solve the problem so fast. The biggest example of that is Omega being captured. They solved that in an episode. That should be a huge thing. That should take multiple episodes. That should take the whole damn season to figure out. Like, this is
Right.
Cad Bane that captured her, and Fennec Shan. This shouldn't be something that's like, oh, the bounty hunters were so cocky, Omega got away. No, that's not. That should not be how Cad Bane goes out of the show.
Right.
Is he was cocky. No, absolutely not.
And to compare it to a show that has only 8 episodes and is about 40 minutes long, when Grogu gets captured, it's 2 episodes. It's 2 whole episode, 2 40-minute episodes of them trying to get him back.
Yeah.
Like, that's long enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking for a ridiculous amount of time. But it also, I think I want to touch now on a lot of people on TikTok who I follow or see their content. Were complaining about the cameo of the week type of thing. And here's my take on it. I don't think there have been any cameos that are out of place. Like, I think some of these creators are like, when they're wording their video, they're kind of making it seem like cameos are bad.
Right, yeah.
No. Cameos are not bad. Cameos were essential to Mando Season 2. It changed Din's character. There was a purpose to every cameo. There's been a purpose for every cameo in the Bad Batch. Captain Rex, the Inhibitor chips, Cad Bane, Fennec, Bounty Hunters after Omega, Hera. Hera's like maybe the only one. Like, you could say, like, what was Hera's point in that first episode? But really, it's to show Ryloth and show how the Empire's been oppressive. Like, you could make an argument for everyone. They're essential to the story. And why wouldn't they be in the story? It's about a time where everything's in chaos. Like, I don't get that. I really don't get that argument.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
It's also like, when it comes to the cameos, like, the only argument that I could really make is that when there are cameos, they're the best episodes. They are. And that could just come from, well, number one, the Rex episode. So much can be put down to, that's a nostalgic character right there. So for a lot of people, that's going to be that's probably going to be their favorite episode. Again, like, the episodes where we have the Martez sisters, when we have Rex, when we have Cad, when we have Fennec, when we have all these things, again, they're not just there for just to be there. They're there with purpose. They're not there to be like, do you recognize us? No, it's like, we're here for Omega, or we're here, or I'm here for your inhibitor chips, or something like that. So yeah, it's just like Mando Season 2. Every single cameo had purpose. They weren't just there to be there. The only real cameo from Mando Season 2 that I can think, okay, yeah, we didn't need that, was Luke Skywalker's. But honestly, that's a cameo that had such substance over the fandom as a whole. It was needed for the fandom, not the story. And even then, that still played super, super due diligence for the story, because Ahsoka told Grogu to reach out to someone so he could be trained. But overall, it's just like, that's out of the like, you know, I could even make a point that even Rebels doesn't have any pointless cameos. Everyone serves a purpose.
Ahsoka, Rex, Maul,
Lando,
even Kenobi.
Yeah, it's like Disney has gotten their cameos right. No, Marvel's anything to go off of. Star Wars is anything to go off. And again, with Mando, it felt like it was cameo of the week. Who are we going to see this week? We saw Trapper Wolf one week. Oh my God, that's Dave Filoni. We saw Ahsoka the next week. We saw Bo-Katan. We saw Luke. We saw Boba Fett. We saw Fennec. It's just like, yeah, that was almost every episode. But again, had a purpose. With Mando, we've only had like a few cameos. And again, it's for purpose. They're not there just to push the show along and to get ratings. They're never advertised. So, I don't know. I don't get that complaint. I don't get it.
Yeah, I saw a couple people comparing it like, oh, I really like the High Republic because it doesn't do that. I'm like, that's not a fair comparison. The High Republic is a new time period. You literally
Right.
can't have cameos. It's like, that's not fair. We're going into an established timeline where we have established characters. It's like, you
Yeah, it's
cannot
like
compare those two things.
yeah, it's like we know who's alive during this time. We don't know
Right,
anybody from the High Republic. The only like maybe like the only like person or two people that we know is Yoda and maybe Plo Koon.
right.
So it's like you can't make a comparison to that. So it's just like another thing is like if you don't like cameo of the week, go read the High Republic. You know there won't be any cameos from there, maybe apart from Yoda.
Right.
So yeah, if you don't like the cameos, don't go to the show that could have cameos.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's just like I don't understand the complaint because if it's making the story better, if it makes sense, what's the point? What's the point to complain to?
Yeah, I totally agree. But uh I guess back to the episode in general. I again disappointed with like it just feels like lack of development for three of the Bad Batch members. It's
Yeah,
like
it feels like Hunter's taking precedence. Which
right.
honestly, it makes me ask the question: do you think that they're going to do probably like what they tried to do with the sequel trilogy with the characters and try to give a season to one character? Because we kind of got that with Rebels, not so much. The show was mainly towards Kanan, Ezra, and Hera as that trio, but we still got like in season 3 mainly a lot towards Sabine, a
Right.
lot towards Sabine. Same with season 2 was a lot towards Zeb.
Right.
So do you think we could be looking towards that, like how Episode 7 was Han's movie, Episode 8 was Luke's movie, Episode 9 was going to be Leia's movie, but they made it as much of Leia's movie as they could, with given what they had. So
My follow-up question to that would be, do you think the show really lasts 4 seasons?
sure, we got
I don't
19.
think it
We
does.
got 19 years. They were going to make a 9, almost 10 season show out of 3 years.
Right. But let me offer some perspective. That was the only thing going on in Star Wars at the time. The Bad Batch is caught up in Kenobi, Andor,
Oh
Boba,
well,
Mando. Um, like that show's gonna get forgotten about. The only reason it's popular now is it's the
it's
only
not.
thing out for Star
But
Wars.
even then, it could be used as a filler, which it's so sad to say that. It could be used from filler to go from Kenobi to Andor, or from Kenobi to Bad Batch to Andor to Bad Batch to Mando season 3 to
Right, but
Ahsoka or something.
were we just talking about this? We were talking about this the other day off of air. Um, on the Disney Plus thing, Bad Batch. There's 15 like screens you could scroll through, or like
Yeah.
things. Bad Batch was 13th.
The highest Star Wars, the only Star Wars thing going on right now was the
13th.
13th out of the 15 big title screens.
I don't even know what it's getting for ratings. I don't think it's. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd be interested in knowing the numbers.
And plus, I don't think just the general buzz on social media. I'm still getting buzz from Loki. I'm still
Right.
getting buzz from Black Widow.
I'm still honestly getting things from WandaVision.
Right.
I'm still getting things from what's it called?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
No, what's it called? I know it's not Marvel or anything. Arrow. I don't know why I just blanked on the name. I was like, well, yeah, I'm still getting anything from like Arrow and Flash and all that.
Right.
Like those are going
was-
on way less popular show like TV things like CW still. This is Disney Plus Star Wars.
I haven't seen many people talk about it.
Right.
Just general buzz online.
Right. Like the major Star Wars creators aren't talking about it that much. Maybe like one video.
They'll do a breakdown of it.
And then with Loki, they would do like 30 videos a week from it.
Right.
So it's just like,
It's disappointing.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, though, do you blame the creators for that or do you blame the show for that?
I just think the show's
So
it's tough. It's in a weird place.
it is. The thing is also, think about what this show was competing against. Loki, the biggest the biggest Marvel thing right now. Bigger than
Right.
Endgame, bigger than Infinity War. Not in
Right.
terms of the scale, like movie or whatnot, in terms of the universe at large for that. It was big.
Set
Then,
up.
yeah,
It set up the next 5 years of probably Marvel content.
even bigger, it set up the next two or three Marvel movies.
Right.
So huge implications.
Plus, it's a fan favorite character who
Right,
people
right,
love.
right. Then, not to mention, it's also going against the first Marvel movie back in theaters since Far From Home,
Yeah, with an original Avenger.
original Six Avenger, original movie, not a part of an already established trilogy of movies. So, and that was going on Disney Plus as well. So they wanted all marketing towards that. Like
You had
for
a couple
a whole like couple days, the entire front page of Disney Plus was dedicated to Black Widow.
movies
All the
she was
movies
in.
she was in, all the appearances she made. So it's like, yeah, like it had a lot of competition. So now I asked the question: did Disney make the mistake for the show? Should they have waited for this to be an isolated thing, like the Mandalorian, or in Clone Wars season 7 were?
Okay, so my point to that would be is when else were you gonna put it? It was
Um,
gonna compete with anything. You could have put it now, like
yeah,
started it now.
because the only real competition would have had was What If, and that's another animated show.
It's the same
And
thing.
and recently, I don't know if you've watched the Marvel animated shows, not very well received.
Right.
So the bar for all that, I mean, you're going Marvel animated shows recently, not very well perceived, and then you're comparing it to Disney animated Star Wars shows. And those are some of the most loved Star Wars media of all time.
Oh yeah.
Loved
And
more than the movies, loved more than the books, the comics, like huge stuff.
I know it seems like if you're watching this, I know it seems like we're crapping on the show. I mean, we kind of are, but
We
like
sure are.
we like the show. It's just it's weird. Like
It's not
it's an
meeting
animated
expectations.
it's an animated show. It's weird enough. Like animated is not going to be as good as live action. As much as I love Star Wars animation, um, it's put against a show that I loved, Loki.
Yeah.
One of my favorite MCU projects, maybe ever.
Surrounded by probably what you said to me was your favorite MCU character.
Right.
So I think that's something that Disney's had a problem with, is let alone marketing for Bad Batch. So there wasn't a lot of excitement about it. It's again, you are putting the Bad Batch against a live action show with a fan favorite character as the lead. Then you're putting it against a live action movie going back to theaters. Then you're releasing an episode of The Bad Batch, easily one of the most at the time people said was one of the worst episodes of the show. Just now with a movie with one of the most beloved characters with it. So it's just like
that was pretty well received. That people liked or enjoyed at least.
Majority was liked about that movie. So what are you going to do in that scenario? The show was out of its league. It's too much, and you brought this up earlier. Should the show have been shorter with longer episodes?
Yes.
Because I'm telling you personally, I'm not enjoying these 29-minute episodes. I'm not enjoying them because it's like I said earlier. Problems come up and they get solved too fast. It leads to a boring story. The story isn't interesting anymore. At first, it was. First few episodes, they were whatever. First episode
Well, not
was
just
great.
that. I don't mean to cut you off, but not just that. I've seen it for now 3 Star Wars animated shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
7 seasons worth of my favorite thing.
so now
And
that
4 seasons worth of your
this,
favorite thing.
yeah,
It's like
now,
repetitive at this point.
yeah, it's asking the question of what's the point of the show? What's the point? Because the thing is, these shows for viewership, they're not bringing in money. They don't bring in money. It's through subscriptions, and it's like let's just compare it to the buzz of The Mandalorian. There were there were thousands of people who canceled subscriptions because the show was over, or because the season was over. So they were like, when it comes back, then I'll resubscribe.
Right.
Honestly, if this was the Star Wars that I was getting for a long time and I wasn't interested in anything with Marvel, I'd unsubscribe from Disney Plus. I wouldn't watch this. The thing is I have to say, this is honestly Disney as a whole is the most lackluster thing they've brought out in honestly probably the last 3 years. Like 2019 or end of 2018 to right now, this has been easily my least favorite thing. That's with the Rise of Skywalker in mind, with something else in mind. At least with the Rise of Skywalker, maybe from a story point, it wasn't very good. I at least enjoy myself every time I watch that movie. I at least can sit down and have a good time. With the Bad Batch, I'm just rolling my eyes with like, oh my gosh, like what's the point? What's the point? It's like you said, this is a show of underdeveloping the side characters. Which, by the way, there should be no side characters. This is called the Bad Batch, not Hunter. No, I'm sorry, not Hunter and Omega. So, what are your thoughts about all this?
Well, I'm glad we came to Alex rants today. Jesus, I love it.
Well, I only stopped because my printer got done finishing the last horn.
Okay. Yeah, I hate to agree with you, but I was more excited for the show than you, and I think consistently throughout the show, I've liked it more than you. But now I just my overall excitement level. Like when I get up to watch something, Loki, I'm super excited. The Day of Black Widow, super excited. Mando, super excited. To this, I'm like, I'm ready to watch. Blow my socks off. But if it doesn't, it doesn't.
I think the biggest thing to be like, yep, pretty telling, is I would get up 3 a.m. every time for Loki. I didn't for the first 3 episodes of the show, or 4 episodes, stayed up. After that, I didn't care.
Yeah, but
didn't care enough.
Just to get back into the episode to wrap up my thoughts, we touched on the Hauser thing. I think both of us think the ending's going to be good. I trust Dave with that.
Yes, he always knocks it out of the park with finales. So, I'm sorry. Other than the season 6 finale for Clone Wars, that was bullshit.
Where it ends with Yoda.
Yes, but then again, that wasn't in their control. So
right, that was weird. Yeah, I trust Dave with the finale, but it took us 8 weeks to get here, and half of the episodes, I couldn't even tell you if you put a random episode. I couldn't tell you what happened.
Right, the only episodes that are honestly most memorable, cameo of the week.
Right,
Martez sisters. I can tell you because it has the. Do we have an echo in here?
Right, yeah. One of the best jokes in Star Wars.
Yeah, like the Captain Rex episode. It's an emotional episode because of Wrecker. The Cad Bane Omega gets captured, and then Omega escapes on her own to prove that she's worthy of being on the team. But it's honestly, Ryloth. Hera, Ryloth, and Hauser. But apart from that, from episode 3 is its only exception.
Right.
And episode 1. But then again, episode 1 had Kanan in it, had Depa Billaba, Palpatine. So I guess
Order 60. It's basically Revenge of the Sith in animated form.
Yes, it's our third non-live action variation of it. Right. So Fallen Order, and then Clone Wars, and now Bad Batch. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's a hard thing to defend this show. It's a hard thing to honestly want to talk about the show, because it's going to be like episodes like today. I'm just going to rant about how disappointed I am with the show. So it sucks because Bad Batch was honestly my second favorite arc from season 7.
Well, that's not saying much compared to the other arc. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, but it was still it was up there in my favorite arcs of the show. I thought it was a funny arc. I thought it was a good clone-centric arc for Rex.
Right, but you can't do that for a whole show. It's
that's why I beg the question: what's the point? What was the point for this show?
It's to get Omega to the Filoniverse. That point.
Yeah. So, anything else from this episode you would like to talk about?
I guess
I honestly don't have anything else that's like coming off the top of my head where I'm interested in talking about it. Because we have
Hera
some
was cool.
interesting rumors to talk about.
We do. Hera was cool.
Yeah.
And Chopper's great. I think Chopper.
Chopper's always great.
What?
Yes, he always like my favorite like of his like little lines that he has is his thing in Rebels when he goes wah wah.
Yeah, he's
Or
so
no,
good.
or when he sings the Superman song where he goes wah 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 wah. Yeah,
I love how he also is still like a devil in this show. Like he always gets in trouble somehow.
Right.
Like,
the thing is, when you think about it, so the way that Hera got Chopper was from an abandoned Clone Wars Y-wing. You have to think there's no way Hera programmed him to be like that. So he was probably already like that. Was just like whoever programmed him must have hit a button by accident to absolute dick. Because have you seen the episode? Well, I know you have. It's in the earlier seasons. When the Phoenix crew take one of the Imperial droids and
yes,
he
knocks
slaps him out of the ship. It's just like I'm telling you. People try to say that R2D2 is a war criminal. No, Chopper deserves he deserves the death penalty by how bad he is, dude. He's so naughty.
I love what Hera's mom calls him too. He's like Chapel.
Yes. Chapel. El Chapo.
Yeah. So I guess my prediction is we get a Camino uprising. Hopefully we see Rex. That'd be cool. I don't care about what happens to Crosshair at this point. That guy's a dick.
He's gonna die.
Yeah, which sucks because they did nothing with his character. He was just in episodes. Like he was cool in episode 3, and then they like just mean generic bad guy.
Yeah, generic bad guy number 3.
Yeah, Rampart. I don't care about.
Look, let's just say this to sum up this show. I'm wearing a Marvel headpiece to talk about a Star Wars show.
Yeah,
that's a good sum up for this show.
Guys, by the way, we're usually not this negative, but Alex no. we felt like getting this rant out. I like the show still, but like yes, I have problems.
Yes, and that's the thing is like,
this is a show where I have to turn my brain off.
Yeah, the thing is like, I honestly just think the show honestly isn't bad. It's misplaced in terms of number 1 importance, number 2 when it was released. Again, it had too much competition. Again, when you have a show like Loki compared to this thing, night and day difference, which one I would stay up for 3 a.m. for.
But that's going to be the case for everything that's released now. Like, we're going to have competition between Marvel and Star Wars. Yeah. Like, for example, if Miss Marvel comes out in December, that's my 3rd most important thing that month compared to Boba and Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, I will talk about it, but it won't be significant.
Right, yeah. So it's just like, what are we going to do in that case? Because here's the thing is, I don't think it's going to be like it is right now with Bad Batch to, what's it called? To Loki and Black Widow, where one is just not as good as the others. I think we're going to be blown out of our socks for Book of Boba Fett. We're going to be blown out of our socks for either Miss Marvel or Hawkeye and Spider-Man No Way Home.
And Marvel and Star Wars are going to release on the same day going forward.
Yeah, Wednesdays, baby. So those are going to be some big episodes.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, Alex, did you give your rating? I know I gave a 7.5, but did...
7.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, it sounds so bad because we're talking so bad about this show, but it was a 7 out of 10 episode.
Right, but the show's not... We're not... Guys, we're not saying the show is bad. We're just saying it's like... It's generic. It's like we've seen it before.
Right. And I can guarantee you I've seen at least all of these episodes twice in the Clone Wars.
Right.
Literally, there's an entire arc about rescuing Ryloth.
Yeah.
So I know what you're gonna do about it.
By the way, rest in peace, Amba Gundai, great Jedi.
The fact that he never got a funeral
And Captain Keeley. Captain
Yeah.
Keeley.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. Time to talk about some juicy rumors. We got first off, we're not gonna do the Kenobi one yet. We're gonna
Yeah.
go
Leave that for
to
the end.
we're gonna do a big Book of Boba Fett rumor that, if true, it's weird, but we'll see. So this may contain spoilers, so scroll right now. The Book of Boba Fett returning. Star Wars characters and plot details revealed. Um,
I love my
so
wife.
um, the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, where is it? Oh, okay, here it is.
What a bad
Am I
rumor.
missing? Am I missing something?
Din
I
Djarin will be a
missed.
part of the Book of
Yeah,
Boba
no,
Fett.
I need to find something else that's up.
I feel like we knew
Uh,
that already.
uh,
You don't see the very rumor in that. We're seeing the Sarlacc pit. Are we going to talk about that?
yeah, there was supposed to be. Okay, uh, we've learned that while the show will start quickly with that fateful Sarlacc pit and Boba escape, the series will turn back into Mando season 2.5. Okay, so the opening scene or the opening seems to be dealing with the Sarlacc pit, which is expected. Alex, do you have any thoughts on that?
Are we going to be seeing a revamp and re-showing of the sail barge scene? Ah, I would love that.
What if they
Love
just take
that.
what if they just take the footage from Return of the Jedi?
Okay, I wouldn't love that.
That'd be funny.
I
They
would.
show Luke.
What,
They
what
show
they
Luke.
should do is show it through Boba's perspective, like a POV shot.
Oh, that would be cool. Like show Boba flying into the sail barge
Yeah, point
when
of
he goes,
view.
ah, yeah, yeah,
Point of view. You get killed, almost killed by a blind man.
yeah.
Ah! Oh, roll.
And then they show how he gets out and stuff, and yeah.
Which honestly, prediction. How do you think he does it?
Oh, I think he just blasts his way through with the jetpack, right?
Maybe. I think that he's gonna like try to trigger it, and the jetpack's gonna like malfunction. It's gonna like shoot him up, Tony Stark style, like from Iron Man 1, and
I
he just
also
like, boom.
he probably also has some type of blade.
Yeah, but how are you gonna kill Stark? What are we gonna see him doing? What Drax did in Guardians Volume 2, where he's just like stabbing the thing.
No, I don't think that. I think he's gonna use the jetpack and try to like stab it.
Oh, you think he's gonna Valkyrie it? See, my Marvel comparisons are coming in. They're coming in handy.
Yeah, but his armor obviously is gonna be like acidy. He's probably gonna have to like throw everything off and like.
Which honestly, dude, if I see any more Boba Fett feet memes coming off from the show,
Stop.
I will take my Tesseract, teleport to everyone's house, stab.
Dad Bod Boba is the best. To more stop! Don't disrespect the goat like that. First off,
Well,
but
number one,
dad bod.
don't body shame him.
Facts.
And secondly, it's just like he would still fuck all of you up in a fight.
Right.
So,
And plus, he is in this. He is wearing a sweater.
well, first of all, he's old as shit, and he's doing those
60.
stunts. So,
He's
number
60.
one, give respect to the man. Number two, yeah, look at that. Does not look very comfortable to fight in. And then literally compare it to his. It looks much more comfy, like when he repaints it.
Right.
So it's just
Oh, it
like,
looks way better when he like
Yes.
redoes everything.
so it's just like, if you dare disrespect Tamora Morrison like that, I will go to your house. I'll make you some popcorn, and we'll watch Attack of the Clones together.
Let's compare this. Din has a light like thing over his under his armor. Boba has literally an entire sweater.
Yes.
Don't disrespect him.
Then not to mention he's wearing like a fucking turtleneck. So it's just,
Correct.
In a desert. So it's just like, what are you gonna do about that?
By the way, this is a fantastic photo. I never thought this photo would exist, but this is fantastic. Minus Grogu. Grogu is not supposed to be in this photo, but
definitely photoshopped in. But yes,
this is
amazing. I love. Well, your Discord profile picture is Cobb and Din.
which I also love. Cobb Vanth, great
Change it to
character.
that. Which, by the way, if Boba Fett killed Cobb Vanth, I'm going to use the Tesseract, go from one franchise to the other, and I'm gonna kill Boba Fett. Nobody kills Cobb Vanth.
I will say, there has been some rumors. Timothy Oliphant,
He better come back.
which I have a lot of questions about why Boba didn't go after him, but that's for another day. Okay,
Look,
so this guy...
he's already said it in the show. Who's the one standing with the Beskar? Not him.
True. Our sources with Lucasfilm have confirmed that Din Djarin
And
will be
Grogu somehow will appear.
part of the Book of Boba Fett, and that Grogu will also appear.
So guess what? You're gonna hear me saying that this show definitely money.
It seems that both characters inside the show, as well as the powers that be at Disney, the Mouse House, know how important Mando and Baby Yoda are. They were reportedly worried about letting Boba do his own thing for too long. Which
no, they
this
weren't.
is stupid.
This
is stupid.
If I'm gonna honestly find any BS out of this report, it's that. Well, number one, literally all I have to go through is look up Boba Fett or the tragedy Boba Fett reaction, and I can guarantee you the first 5 are gonna just be blown off, screaming at the top of their lungs of how excited they are
when they see Slave One. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yes. It's literally like, no. Out of this report, they were reportedly worried about Boba doing. Shut the fuck up. No, they weren't.
That's not true. Boba, a fan favorite character who people have been wanting a solo project with him for years.
Literally, that'd be like saying, oh, us here over at the Marvel fandom, we were actually kind of worried about Iron Man getting a 4th movie. Yeah. So we just didn't give him it. We just got him off. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. They are not worried. Again, Boba Fett. Yeah. Boba Fett was a fan favorite character before he came back in The Mandalorian.
Absolutely, and he did absolutely nothing.
He just looked cool. So again, it'd be like the best comparison in Star Wars would be like, sorry, we don't feel like Darth Vader deserved his own a standalone movie. We just don't feel like he could do very good on his own.
Right.
No. Like, I don't know. People, the way people getting these reports, little sketchy.
Correct.
And then, like this right here, how are Pedro and Grogu on set? Like, Grogu makes sense. It's just a puppet. But from a story standpoint, how and why is Grogu there?
Okay, so let me read this first, and I'm going to get into some stuff I've heard. Okay. Both Pedro and Baby Yoda, Grogu, were on set for multiple episodes at the end of the series, and were told it wasn't just for some flashback scenes. Boba Fett will answer where Grogu went and share some of his Jedi training. Now, before I want to get your thoughts on this, there were reports that Mando Season 3 was filming a while ago, probably in March, April time. I definitely think that Pedro was on set for something. Possibly Grogu, but I really think that if Grogu was going to be in the show, it's an end credit scene.
Yes.
I don't think Pedro was on set for multiple episodes. I mean, I think Pedro was, but I think Grogu will probably be an end credit scene where we see maybe Din getting him back.
Is right now, for Book of Boba Fett specifically, they don't need Pedro on set. They just need his voice.
Right.
They can easily have one of Pedro's stunt doubles just be on set.
And he literally did an interview where he talked about Robert Rodriguez's mindset into the Book of Boba Fett. So he basically confirmed he was on set for the show.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I take rumors like this, Pedro being on set. It's just like, again, I take all those specifically with grains of salt because it's just like he doesn't have to be there. Again, he's the voice. Now in season 2, they did it differently because he took his helmet off more. So that's different, but like, I don't know.
I believe Din's going to be in the show in Book of Boba.
Oh, yeah. I would be so surprised if he wasn't. I'd also be so surprised if he didn't at least get like a mention in like Ahsoka.
Right. But Grogu,
Grogu seems so far-fetched to me because it's just like, number one, what significance is he going to pay towards Boba Fett? He already paid his significance in The Mandalorian to Boba Fett.
Plus, that would make no sense as a company. You realize that there's this Luke Skywalker craze. Everybody wants a Luke Prime show. Why not have Grogu with that? Why not have that later down the line Let Din do his own thing. I feel like that would hurt Din's character. Like the whole point of Din's character now is like he's moved past that child. So I don't believe the Grogu thing.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll be I mean, not gonna say like, oh, don't bring him in, but I don't know, because it's fun to see Grogu, but from a story perspective, please don't.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, that was it for that. You got any other thoughts on that, or
Grogu better not be in the show.
okay? All right, and we have an announcement about a Disney gallery. So these are the things that they do.
I was don't know why this wasn't released with the first set of the gallery.
Yeah. So behind the scenes of the making of the season 2 finale, we obviously see.
I didn't see that it was only the finale. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So obviously they held off on this because they wanted to hide that Luke was at the finale because obviously everything else got spoiled for the show, or character leaks were spoiled. So this was a surprise to be sure.
But a welcome one.
I'm really excited to see this because while Luke is a great part of this finale, I think there are some other memorable moments in this episode. I want to see some more behind the scenes of Din and Moff Gideon's fight. I think that fight's great. The Dark Troopers.
Girl power done right.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited for this. Alex, you got any thoughts on that?
I am as well. Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm stretching. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I want to see how they did the Luke Skywalker, because there is a debate if he was deep faked or if he was legit just like CGI'd onto his face. So I think they deep faked him, but that's just me.
I don't know, but I'm excited to see. I want to see because didn't Mark? They credited Mark, right?
He was on set when they did this, and he was the voice. But
yeah, I want to see what Mark thinks about this. I love Mark.
He was on the set, like giving like what they should do for him specifically, but they weren't like he wasn't like actually like doing the movements. That'd be
right.
Funny.
That'd be funny.
Like we've already seen Old Man Luke fight. Like the thing is, here's the thing: is we saw him fight Rey, and that was Mark Hamill fighting Daisy Ridley. He still moved really fast. So
yeah.
Props to Mark, but I don't know. I don't know. I now look at this, and now every time I see someone with a hood, every time I see them, it's just the hood always covers their eyes. It's just like what is the point apart from being like the arrow, because he doesn't cover his entire face like someone like Hawkeye did when he had his Ronin mask, but like right here, you see how far down that is down his face.
What is the purpose of that while fighting?
Right. Well, that's the other thing. What's the point of a cape?
Right.
It literally, if you see the behind the scenes of Thor: The Dark World, they literally show you the disadvantages to wearing a cape is when there's any sort of wind, it just blows up into your face. It's the same. It's the same thing for like a hood or a robe like that. It just looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but I always love these behind the scenes things. They're always really cool. I thought the behind the scenes of season 2 was great. Seeing Tamora Morrison again, a lot of Tamora Morrison praise here.
I do prefer the season 1.
Yes,
because it broke down every major important like legacy, music, cinematography, and all that. With season 2 they kind of just broke down every single episode, what went into it, which I didn't mind. I mean, I really love the condensed version of it and one thing just to sit through, especially because I think it came out on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So legit, like I remember it so fondly. It was Christmas morning. We did like Christmas. My family we do Christmas in the morning. I think I think every family does.
Yeah.
But,
right. We do it at dinner.
Yeah. Well, no, like when we go do my grandparents and all that, we do that at dinner. So
yeah, right.
But with us,
that makes sense.
We did it like for breakfast and whatnot. Like so, like because normally with the past years we do it at like 6 a.m. Literally, none of us woke up that early. We were like, we can do it at like 10 or so.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, oh yeah, I forgot the gallery for The Mandalorian came out. So I remember just waiting for my brothers to get here because my brother Devin, oh my god, he'll always say, yep, I'll be there at 10 o'clock. He'll be there. That means I'll be there at like 11 or so. So I watched that entire thing before we started opening our presents, and then I got my Boba Fett helmet on that same day.
Nice. Yeah. Uh, I'm really excited for this. Probably more excited for this than Visions. And no offense to Visions, but like it's not
No,
it's cool. It could be dope stories, but not canon. So I mean
I,
that shouldn't take away from my enjoyment of the show, but like
but it does. So
it kind of does. Sorry, I'm just
I get
does.
that. I get that.
All right. The what do I want to cover next? Oh,
Do we?
since you're
Are we gonna move on to Kenobi?
maybe. One more thing. What are your thoughts on EA saying there's going to be no new announcements for Star Wars games?
I didn't expect them to have one, so
And
didn't bug me.
what's up with the Lego game, man?
You're asking. You're telling me it was supposed. Well, it was supposed to be released last year, November of last year. Then they said spring of 2021, and then they pushed it even farther back to summer of 2021. So
And it's summer now. We've heard nothing.
yeah, the only thing that we know is that the game is not getting canceled. That's it. And that wasn't released by TT Games. That's literally just because the game is done. They're just bug fixing now. Which, could you imagine if that game releases and it's still buggy?
That'd be funny.
That'd be so bad. Like the Cyberpunk level of bug. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Still,
I'm not a big
I think the best Star Wars release game on EA has been Fallen Order. Have you played Fallen Order?
barely, but like again, I'm not a big gaming guy. I mean, I played it with friends, but like I don't really play games.
I think for the story, you should play Fallen Order. I think it's so good for a story game.
Yeah, well, I've seen playthroughs of it and stuff, and people talk about it.
Okay,
But like, I know what happens.
Yeah, I think you should either watch a playthrough of the game or actually play it. Like they have
Right.
they have a story mode option where like the enemies aren't hard, just so you can experience the story, just so you're
Yeah.
not getting like caught up on things.
I heard it is a difficult game though. If like you're trying to.
If you do not know what you're doing, it is a hard game. Like the puzzles, oh my god, the puzzles in that game are so goddamn hard. I had to look up a YouTube tutorial for every single one of them. I was like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I love Fallen Order. It's my favorite EA game. It's my favorite story game. I just also replayed the Pandemic Battlefront 2. Oh, I feel so bad because I remember the campaign being so much better.
Well,
it's so dated.
The problem with that game is it doesn't get good until like after launch. Like once it's like on launch, it was bad. Wasn't like Battlefront 2 bad for a while?
No,
that it was.
That's EA Battlefront 2.
Oh, okay, my bad.
There's two separate Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
I know, yeah.
But yeah, I'm talking about the 2005 one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
a classic.
Yes, a game I still want to replay, so I need to go buy a PlayStation 2. Or I have a PlayStation 2. My dad or my brother has one. I want to play Revenge of the Sith again. The video game.
I love how that game came out before the movie did.
And it had movie clips in it, so people got spoiled of what happened. And then they started complaining that the game spoiled the movie. It's just like, it was called the Revenge of the Sith tie-in game. It was, you were supposed to watch the movie and then play the game for its alternate ending.
Yeah, and then I remember like the Phantom Menace, like the people bought the soundtrack and it literally says like Qui-Gon's funeral on it or like Death of the Jedi or something like that.
It was Qui-Gon's, it was like Qui-Gon's send-off or Qui-Gon's funeral.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what did you expect? What were you expecting?
So funny.
That's why, like, when spoilers come into effect, dude, like, I don't know. Nowadays, I'm not too mad about them. I get more annoyed. Like, I got spoiled that Darth Vader was in Fallen Order. I was just like, oh, come on, dude. Could you not put him in the thumbnail? Like, could you not, like, rename it to, like, How to Beat Fallen Order Final Boss?
The one that pissed me off was before episode 5 of season 2 of Mando. And there were leaks about the episode. Now I'm fine with people, like, these were actual, like, there were visual images of what was happening in the Ahsoka episode. and somebody put a picture of Grand Admiral Thrawn in their thumbnail.
Yeah.
I'm just like, really, dude?
Like,
And then I watched the video after, and I'm like, really, dude? Why?
It's like he wasn't even in the episode, but the name drop itself was a huge spoiler, big thing for the Ahsoka character. So yeah,
why?
That's why, like, I always like for Loki specifically and all that. I always made sure I was up to watch those episodes. Never ever wanted to get spoiled for those things.
Or I wouldn't get up early necessarily, but I wouldn't go on social media apps that
like for Black Widow, I deleted Instagram, I deleted TikTok, I didn't go on YouTube or anything. Nope. Even the day before, because all the theaters around the world were showing showings. So I literally, and the reason why I deleted TikTok before or on the 8th was because someone started talking about Yelena in the movie. Like, and I also saw the new Rockstar's post-credit scene breakdown. It's like, well, why'd you have to reveal that? Like, could you not wait? Or could you not pick a different thumbnail?
Right.
I don't know. It's just like, with things like Kenobi and Mando Season 3, Book of Boba Fett, I really hope the spoiler culture's honestly gotten better. Because it's my least favorite thing when people talk about spoilers and all that the day the episode comes out. Like an hours after it came out.
General rule of thumb for me is like for a TV show
1 week.
No, I say it's less. I give like 2 to 3 days, especially if it comes out on a Friday. You have a weekend to watch it.
I try to give it a week, and the thing is like when I hear people talking,
a movie a week.
Yes, like when it comes to like people were talking about like, oh well, when it comes to movies, do you think people should have a week? I was like, yes, because people want to go in big groups of people, so they need to get a specific day where everyone can go.
Right.
Now, I was like, for me or for you, it was different because we either went by ourselves or we went with a small group. So it was an easy day to go. But like there were some people, they have to wait till the next day. They have to go towards
family.
Yeah. Or they have to wait for Sunday for their family, or they have to wait till the next week to watch it. They can't go paying on Premier Access.
Right, because you want to waste $30 to watch it by yourself.
Right. It's like the only reason why I bought it on Premier Access to watch it by myself is because I was going to watch the movie with people before. And that was just for my thing to rewatch it for myself.
Right.
And so for people to go out there spoiling things, that's why I'm really hoping I can get Spider-Man tickets for the day of release, Doctor Strange, or Thor, Rogue Squadrons. Even though I'm not so excited, it's the first Star Wars movie back in theaters since 2019. I really want to make sure I don't get that spoiled for me. So, yeah, it's just like movies, I give a 1 to 2 week notice of like, hey, spoilers for this. But after that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not giving a spoiler warning.
My rule of thumb for like the Disney Plus shows that released on Fridays was Monday. I'm just gonna freely start talking about stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like also then it's like like how you do it. It's like spoilers for the Bad Batch. Scroll away if you don't want to know them. But now it's like some people just start showing just clips of the episode.
I don't show clips or anything. I mean,
the more specific thing is when the Martez sisters episode came out, worth the Echo joke. It's like, yeah, it doesn't seem harmless right now, but oh yeah, you're also spoiling. There's 2 massive cameos in that episode, or not massive, but 2 big cameos in the episode. So it's just like for spoiler culture, man. It's just like, can you guys like now put like a huge warning sticker, or something? Like even like a dude named Kev. He even put out this like super helpful like spoiler thing to put over your episodes. Like you even didn't have to design that. You legit just had to save the clip. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like for episodes like Bad Batch, I like to give like if I ever do talk about it on my page, which I probably won't, unless the finale's huge. Like
you'll probably talk about it, yeah.
Then I'll talk about it. Like that's the thing is like I didn't talk about it with Loki because we have the podcast to talk about it on, and that's where I give my unfiltered thoughts. The only shows that I talked about were WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and as you saw, I did not talk about those much. Only things that intrigued me. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like Bad Batch. Honestly, if I was spoiled on what happened, I honestly probably wouldn't care.
Yeah.
All right. Hera's in there. Cool. Kanan Jarrus is in there. Cool. Martez sisters. I probably honestly would have been like, why?
Right.
But hey, it made the characters better. So can we really?
Yeah, they were good in those. They were good in those that episode.
They were funny. That funny always makes them better.
All right. Speaking of spoilers, last big story. This is potential plot point that usually when we report leaks and rumors on my channel and here they're character based rumors about characters. This is
This
character
plot.
based,
Yeah,
but
this
it
is.
also has a big plot point that may or may not be the show. But if you don't want to be spoiled, leave.
You've been told.
Leave. It's about Kenobi, so maybe leave.
All right.
Here we go. Alex, do you want to? I'll do this one. I can do this. I'm right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Big Kenobi leak. So Jordan Mason was reporting this from Cinelinx. He's pretty credible. He's also gotten this from multiple sources. So he's pretty confident on this. I trust what Jordan Mason says. I mean, these leakers and scoopers aren't always right, but I think he could possibly very well be right here. Excuse me. Says, I could tell you that Leia is a part of Kenobi in a big way. In fact, what I've heard, stuff dealing with Leia is pretty much the central plot of the show and what gets Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi into another adventure. And Vivian Lyra Blair, who was in Bird Box, has been cast for the role. He also goes on to talk about Alex's favorite show, Rebels, and says that some of the characters from that will be in it. Today, Sun Kane, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but I hope so, says he was on set with Vader. It seems like Kane was played none other than the fifth brother from Rebels.
I was about to say, Kang, wrong franchise.
Yeah. Also, that's been reported earlier that we talked about. There's been quite a few Inquisitors. So yeah, and it's on track to land in the spring of 2022. So I could see Kenobi coming out like May the 4th. I know it's a Wednesday next year.
Yeah.
So, Alex, do you got any thoughts? Let's start with the Leia thing first, because that's the big thing. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like the show should be centered about protecting Luke, not Leia. So I don't know. I mean, not gonna. It's a rumor, so you got to pay your due diligence with that. But I don't know. I mean, I have to see how it works. Currently, right now, I don't see how Leia should take Obi-Wan's precedence over Luke. I definitely feel like Bail is in charge with her. So yeah, I don't know. It's again too early to tell, so I can't give any full like, oh, this upset. I have to see it first, and I honestly don't want to be too upset about Kenobi. So
Right. No, me neither. I mean, it's gonna be cool, obviously, but like, it would have to be a thing where Leia got like captured or lost,
yeah, absolutely.
which would make sense. But yeah, Leia being it does make sense in the sense that it would bring Kenobi off world because it's dealing with an offspring of Anakin. I was worried about like, how are you going to convince me that Anakin or Obi-Wan would leave Tatooine? But like,
Yeah,
Leia being lost would make sense. Like, that's a threat. If
yes,
Vader got her,
yes, absolutely. And if Vader felt any sort of like connection, ooh, that would have been scary. Well, the thing
right.
is like, Star Wars canon and Legends especially always set up that Leia, in a sense, knew she was Force sensitive. She was always she was really good at like being able to like put on a really good like poker face, like a really good Force poker face. And so that's like one of the main reasons how like Vader never found out, especially because like I believe in the books and whatnot, it refers to many altercations that they have together. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. I am. That would honestly that was something that like out of the box I did not think of that would get some Kenobi off world. Because the thing is, I really do not want the show to be on Tatooine only. But yeah, it's absolutely. I did not expect this report to come out. So I don't know. I don't know how the actor would fit as Leia, but Yeah. It's also like around this time point, we also do see Luke in Rebels. So
Ooh,
um,
no, because Kenobi is
this is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and we see that little thing when he's watching Luke. That's only
4 or 5.
yeah. So it's only about 4 or 5 years out. So yeah, I would well we're almost definitely going to be seeing younger Luke in this show. I would be shocked if they did not show us a young Luke Skywalker in this show. So yeah, I mean, wouldn't again that honestly, like, I couldn't tell you, like, if you didn't before you told me this, I couldn't think of anything to get Kenobi off world. That is the thing for sure. Is if like Bale like sent a transmission of like Leia's lost and we can't find her anywhere. Like, we need help finding her.
And it would make sense because it doesn't contradict with anything in canon. Like it
Right.
doesn't.
Right. And again, hey, we still get that moment. Obi-Wan's final sights as like an actual like living thing is Luke and Leia being together. So, I will say the original trilogy is not written together. It was not a plan. It is some of the most like perfect storytelling connecting wise.
Yeah.
I mean, other than maybe like Luke and Leia being related, but you can definitely like pass over that.
Right.
But like literally, dude, the fact that that little thing in A New Hope honestly was probably a huge thing for George to consider for writing that plot point absolutely blew me away. So
Yeah. But well, Leia talks about you served my father in the Clone Wars. Um, I don't think Kenobi necessarily has to, or maybe.
well, she's talking about Bale in that point. So
Right. Yeah, they could have had an interaction. I could see that.
right. So I don't know. Well, if you think now that we think about that, technically she was right on both fronts for her fathers.
Right.
Obi-Wan did serve with Anakin in the Clone Wars, and she did serve Bale in the Clone Wars.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Which leads me to ask: do you think, Natalie Portman being back related to Disney? Do you think we could see any Anakin and Padme flashbacks?
Doubt it.
I mean, it would be quite weird to see like Padme all jacked off all of a sudden. What if we
I
just
think
see her? What if we
I
see her? And
don't.
she's like, "What's up, Annie?"
I think it took a lot for Natalie to just come back for Thor.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I don't I don't think she wants to come back to Star Wars. She's
Really?
adamantly not. I don't think she liked that character, especially Attack of the Clones. You think you would have liked that character? Jesus.
Well, I mean, the thing is like,
Even Revenge of the Sith. What the hell happened to her?
well, she said Revenge of the Sith was her favorite movie, like to be in.
Right. Yeah,
Which, like,
because it
yeah,
was the.
it was the one where she was least involved. Which, like, no, Phantom Menace, she was honestly probably the best out of the three movies.
Oh, she was great. I loved her in that film.
She was easily the best out of the three. She was, first of all, the most consistent out of the three. Um, so yeah, I mean, people always try to say Obi-Wan was the best. Obi-Wan really didn't do much in Episode 1. He did a lot in Episode 2, but we didn't spend as much time as I wanted with him. And in Episode 3, he just had a lot of one-liners. That was it. That was his major character. That's why when people say that Obi-Wan is their favorite Jedi, I'm just like, how? He doesn't do anything. That sounds so bad, but he doesn't do anything.
I think it's like, especially with me, my favorite character is Anakin.
Yeah.
More specific, more
Oh, yeah.
specifically, it's Anakin and Revenge of the Sith in the Clone Wars.
Right, because those are easily when he's at his most interesting.
Right.
But like with Kenobi, let me ask you this: from the moment we first see Obi-Wan in Episode 1 to the moment that we see him or hear him last in Episode 9, what changed with this character?
He was just a heartbroken dude who lost everything, lived in the
Right.
desert.
And then when we look at Anakin at the beginning of episode 1 to him in his voice in episode 9, man went through like everything.
I will say about Obi-Wan, for a while he was the model Jedi
Well, yeah, he was like
until Kanan. I think Kanan's like a good example of a model Jedi.
Really? I would have thought you would have said Ahsoka.
Sure. Ahsoka too. Qui-Gon.
Luke.
I think Luke leaned too much into the ways of the Jedi. I think you almost have to just be a light side user. You can't like Ahsoka. And like Qui-Gon was pretty much. Like Qui-Gon was not actually Qui-Gon was at fault too, because I don't know if you've read Master and Apprentice, but he was very like in the sense religious, or very like believed in like tales or prophecies. So that's his fault.
Yeah.
And that's an interaction about seeing Kenobi like Obi-Wan be like, yeah, you were wrong, man.
What if you remember that scene from Black Panther when T'Challa gets the herb for the second time, and he goes in and he tells that all the people in there were wrong? That is a scene that I would like to see in Kenobi. Is him snapping at Qui-Gon for being wrong. But what if? Because the thing is when you're a Force ghost, you already know what's going to happen. You're like Kang the Conqueror, but on like ultimate crack.
Yeah, they do know what's going to happen, which is weird.
Well, the thing is that's why Obi-Wan was like, I cannot intervene. It's because he already that honestly was probably the most like biggest clue. You're most likely going to succeed at what's going to happen. So I cannot intervene. Or what needs to happen is that now that I think about it, Star Wars would fit the sacred timeline more than Marvel. Star Wars fits it more. Now, obviously, no. The world between worlds is not a separate reality. It's not time travel. It's not branch reality. No. Pat on your hand if you think that. But think about it. Like, could you think about like if Star Wars had the sacred timeline, and then like obviously no, because the thing is whenever you start this discussion, you're always like, in one of these realities, is the sequel's not canon.
I don't need a multiverse Star Wars saying that doesn't work. Sorry.
No. But what I'm saying is like, could you imagine if we kind of got like a multiverse is but not like that. It's not like where the sequels don't happen or the prequels don't happen or the Clone Wars doesn't happen. No. It's none of that. But it's small thing. Itty bitty things. Leia was looked over by Luke. Leia became a hermit. Luke became a prince.
I would love a what if Star Wars show. Like, what if Anakin never turned? That would be amazing.
Yes.
Like, what if Qui-Gon lived? What if
and again,
Maul
it's like
killed Kenobi and Qui-Gon? What if, a lot of things you could do.
Yeah, and it's like,
what if Luke turned to the dark side? Like, stuff go crazy.
So yeah, that's the only thing is it's like Force ghosts know what's going to happen. So what sucks about that is Obi-Wan knew that Luke was about to lose his arm and was about to get the name drop about his father. And then he knew that Anakin was going to get redeemed. So that honestly makes more sense that he knew that Anakin was going to get redeemed, so he reaches out as a Force ghost again. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like with the Qui-Gon
are terrible.
With the Qui-Gon interaction, it'd be really interesting to see, like, because we've never seen really Obi-Wan go ballistic, but like we would know if like Obi-Wan went ballistic, like he was upset.
Yeah.
Like, how could you lie to me? Like, you failed me, and then Qui-Gon just disappears.
Oh my god, that's the ultimate. Just like hang up the phone.
Qui-Gon kind of acknowledges that he fails. But not really, but like in the moment he would.
Right. Because again, it's like when a Force ghost is brought into the world between worlds, like when their conscious is grabbed at that, they can see everything. They know everything that happened in the past, they know everything that's happening now, and they know everything that's going to happen. So it's just like, currently now I'm seeing what went wrong. I see it
Right.
now. No, again, it's
He's
a
like, I
thing.
know what happens, but I can't say anything. Or it's like,
Well, it's not even that. It's a case of like, I know what I did was wrong, but it's like in a sense you're kind of wrong too. So it's another thing. Yeah, it's where he kind of can't say what's going to happen because then it wouldn't happen. It's that sacred timeline logic fits it perfectly with Star Wars, where the Force Ghosts we don't see Force Ghosts fighting because then that would break time basically. That would break what happens.
and we know they
So
can interact with the real world, and we
yeah,
saw Yoda
we
do
see
it.
we see Obi-Wan move branches. We see Yoda summon lightning. Like again,
Obi-Wan sits.
yeah, Force Ghosts are literal gods. That should have
Right.
that would be a cool prophecy. Is the prophecy of immortality. That would be a cool prophecy.
Well,
For Star
essentially,
Wars.
they are immortal.
Well, yeah, they are. They can't die. They can appear to people who they don't have attachments to. Like Qui-Gon appeared to Luke. I'm trying to remember because I think I'm trying to remember. Someone appeared to Rey. I don't remember who. Well, all the names, all the voices of the Force Ghost from
But
the Rise of Skywalker.
my thing is like, where do they chill out? Do they just chill with each other? Like, what's up
Probably,
with?
probably in the world between worlds. Probably going through things like. Could you just imagine Yoda and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon watching Luke and Vader fighting in Empire Strikes Back? It's like, yeah, he probably should have aimed a little higher. He probably would have killed him.
I will.
Like that's what we need. Is we need a Force Ghost just commentating over what's happening.
I would love just to see when Anakin got into the world between worlds and like Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon are like, you've had an interest in the last 23 years, haven't you?
Well, no. What they should have done is when he lost the duel to Luke and he died, they should have had a whiteboard out, being like, all right, so let's break down your fight and let's see what went wrong. So first of all, you let him kick you off down the stairs. Rookie mistake. He had the high ground. I thought you learned from that mistake. So, which honestly, that's something that again in Star Wars I wish we would have seen is more of that Obi-Wan and Anakin banter in the movies.
Clone Wars, it's great.
Yes, Clone Wars it's great, but in the movies not so much.
Yeah. Well,
Which that's another video. You remember that guy that I showed you about Star Wars fans that understand Star Wars? He has a really good video about talking about prequels and the why can I now remember the words? Intentions versus execution.
right.
So yeah. Prequels are definitely the kings of the good intentions. Definitely good on paper. And then a very questionable execution.
Right. Well, that was the last topic I had. Alex, if you got anything you want to talk about, you good?
Well, it spiraled out into everything. So,
Right.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's the show, guys. If you watched on Twitch, thank you as always. If you watched on YouTube, this is obviously up on probably maybe Friday night.
Sure, you
Possibly.
uploaded that Black Widow or whatever it was real fast.
Yeah, I did. I hopefully I can do this one quick. So it may be up here on Friday night if you're on Twitch right now. My YouTube is Drew H, or Saturday at some point. But yeah, if you did watch this on Twitch, thank you again. YouTube, you're probably seeing this Saturday. So I thank you. You can watch these Bad Batch breakdowns or rants as it was today at usually 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, but we delayed it till 9 p.m. today. So yeah.
My printer was sounding like a jet engine apparently.
It's fine. It's fine. He prints cool stuff, by the way. So they're always dope.
I've been wearing what I've been working on.
Yes,
so
yes. I will be back personally tomorrow to have a conversation with Jedi Derelict. I am going to have a conversation about The Last Jedi, possibly the sequels, whatever else the conversation divulges into. Alex and I will be back next Wednesday for our first rewatch review, we're going to review the first two Ant-Man, which we're excited to do. And we'll be back next Friday for episode 13 of The Bad Batch. So, until then, we will see you all later, and may the Force be with you.